I'm Callie Seckler.
And I'm Tara Merrick.
This is Worth the Watch. The first movie of this school year is Nope.
We'll be rating the plot, characters, sound, visuals, and originality of the film. Each category earns a popcorn bucket.
Or not. First is plot. This movie carries very heavy, prominent themes, which I extremely loved because all of Jordan Peele's films are similar in that way, but this is a theme that we haven't seen before and one that I think should be explored more, and I believe that Jordan Peele did an amazing job exploring this, maybe shadowed upon theme in movies.
Yeah, the themes are definitely portrayed super well. Another thing I really like is the way that they connect the different plot points, the different storylines. The way that the plot lines connected was super unique, and it really made you think, as opposed to just when you're spoon-fed it in some other more popular movies.
I also thought it was what worked together very well. Like the A story, the B story are mixed very well, that you're following the plot, but also still wanting to know more, and you're still paying attention and trying to figure it out.
Definitely. So we're gonna give it the bucket for plot. As for characters, we really love the dichotomy between the two mains, OJ and Emerald. So OJ was played by Daniel Kaluuya. He was very low-key, and most of his feelings and thoughts were portrayed through facial expressions, and then specifically eye movement was amazingly done. So he was such a calm, low-key character, as opposed to Emerald.
Emerald, Keke Palmer, played by Keke Palmer, who I think was the powerhouse of this film. She was just fabulous. That's one of the main reasons I recommend seeing this movie, is for Keke Palmer's portrayal of this character. Her character comes back after some suspicious activity was happening on the ranch to help her brother figure it out.
They're definitely, like I said, the dichotomy is incredible. The costuming, the differences really highlights who they are. So overall, characters, I would say they were in the bucket.
Or in the bucket.
As for visuals, we really loved the shot choice. One of my favorite shots was a POV shot that they used in a very tense scene. That really put you into the shoes of the characters, which is of course the point of a POV shot. But the way that it was done, and the way that the length that shot was held for, the way that the scene was blocked so that you saw only certain things happening.
It was like a claustrophobic feeling almost.
Yes.
It made you feel not only as if you were in the shoes, but in this huge movie theater that you're watching it in, that you are being contained, and that claustrophobic feeling that I think is really hard to replicate and that some directors have issues with. Jordan Peele did it easy. The movie is filled with these long tracking shots of the beautiful California mountains behind them. It's just something simple that can be taken for granted, but when done so well, really helps to move the movie forward. Adding those little details within it really helps a viewer, immerse themselves in the film.
Absolutely. So we're going to be giving the visuals the bucket.
The next category is sound. This was absolutely one of my favorite parts of the movie. The score was composed by Michael Abels, a Jordan Peele veteran. He did the first movie and the second movie, and whereas the score in those movies were more of a plot point used to move the movie forward, especially in Get Out, this was more used as, the way a score is traditionally used, but I don't believe that made it any less of what it was. It was still an amazingly composed score and added so much to the film.
It wasn't used liberally, but it was used in the perfect places to create the feeling that
it made tense moments. It made tense moments more tense. It made fun moments more fun. And just the simple sound effects that were throughout the movie were even added to make it amazing. One of my favorite times that sound was used in the movie was at this high intense scene. Obviously horses are a big part of this movie, so our main character OJ was riding on a horse. And just the way the music incorporated old Western films, but with also a new spin on the sound, combined together just made that shot amazing to watch, and really, again, just immerse you into the movie and felt like you were riding that horse with him.
So we'll definitely be giving the bucket for sound, and originality impressed us just as much.
So this movie doesn't take the normal format of telling a story beginning, middle, and end, whereas there is inner stories, mixed with it. It's more of an expression of ideas, like the theme that we talked about earlier. The whole movie is kind of just an expression of that theme. And I think it did it in a very compelling way. Sometimes audiences can't connect with that, but based on the Rotten Tomatoes and just as well as it did as Jordan Peele's other 2 movies, I think that it definitely connected with a good amount of people.
Another thing that I really appreciated about the originality was the way that they portrayed the antagonist.
Which we can't go too far into because I don't want to spoil the movie. You guys should watch it on your own.
Absolutely. But the antagonists, to create this character, they didn't just pull the idea out of thin air and just plop it into the movie. They consulted actual scientists to make it as real as possible. And that really adds a level to the thrilling, scary part of Nope, because you know that it's not out there, that's not completely impossible. That's the kind of thing that you might see in another part of the world, like the ocean. You might see something like that in the ocean.
Which is something where this movie is more of a thriller than Jordan Peele's other movies, which I believe are under the category of horror, or at least I would consider them horror. A part of that is in the thrilling sense, that it's not something that you're gonna instantly be scared of in the moment, but that's something that you're gonna take home with you and take, when you're trying to go to bed at night and that's all you can think about, is that this is a possible thing that could happen, and
it'll definitely haunt you.
All in all, Nope has earned 5 buckets, making it absolutely worth the watch.